want to be here every day because no one else will be. The kids are going to be testing you because everywhere else in their life, people are like, oh, this kid's trouble, let's get rid of him. So when they come here, they don't necessarily want to be here all that much. The reward end of that kind of stuff is the fact that you're actually seeing these kids grow.
You can see the dignity and how happy they are that they were able to do that themselves without someone else's help. Or when they say, I can't do it, and you're like, no, you can, just keep trying, and they finally do it. Just the success that they have on their face is rewarding.
Every day, you face so many challenges, you get your guts ripped out, you get your heart broken, and every day there's something that comes along that makes it all worth it. Whether it's appreciation from a family, some brilliant or poignant or humorous quote from a student that no other adult is around to hear, whatever it is, there's something that makes it all worth it.
Even on a stressful day when maybe there's a lot going on or my workload seems a little too large, I know that it's all for a reason. It's not just going somewhere where I'm making money for a business, but we're giving something to the community.
I know that I am spending my days and my energy and my creativity working in a place that directly gives back to my community. It feels great that on my days off, I see the Alliance Needle Exchange working somewhere and I feel like I can wave and say, hey, that's awesome, great work, or we have posters up around town. It just feels like I'm really plugged in.
Rather than operating sort of with the notion of scarcity, which is really can be common in nonprofits, here we're encouraged to look at sort of best practices in the industry, for example, but also really think about how can we be authentic, be true to our mission at Zenger Farm, and think creatively about how we might reach some specific outcomes. And sometimes that means taking risks and trying things maybe in an unconventional way, but we're encouraged to do that through our wonderful leadership and through our board.
We don't have like a set rule, like this is what you have to do. Every time on this call, in this situation, you have to do this. We don't have that. EPUD's really about empowerment, and so their idea is for each one of us, we're empowered to come up with solutions that work for people, and they really appreciate that.
I'm very sad when I hear people talk about that they hate their jobs. Oh, it's Monday, I gotta go back to work, and I'm always so happy to be here when you walk in. You know, you're happy to see your patients, you're happy to see your coworkers, and you're just happy to be here all day long, 8 hours. The work can be hard sometimes, but it's just very enjoyable. It's very rewarding.
It's like a clock. It ticks with different parts, and without this part, it doesn't tick. So it just keeps ticking.
People come from different backgrounds of workplaces where you kind of have to watch your back and that type of thing. And you know, that's just not the case here. You know, people are offered the same type of support, the same type of encouragement that we offer our kids. And so there's a lot of integrity in the way that we run our programs and the way that we run our work environment.
I just love working with the people that I work with. It's both a very collaborative and supportive environment. I personally feel that I have a lot of autonomy and ability to think creatively and run my own program, but I also have support from my coworkers.
Little flexibility that I have to put my curriculum together, my activities that I think that are going to work with these kids. Have the time to really explore different things. There are not time limits or anything like that for activities, which is great.
So we have the opportunity, both as teachers and as class designers and planners, to get kids excited about learning and the learning process without grades, without homework, and learning from professionals in the field.
You can bring your dog to work. I have this one, Willow, and a Corgi at home, and they come probably every 2 weeks. I just think it's a good stress reliever and cuts up the week and the day a little bit. It's always good for volunteers that are in here or the staff to have a little dog time.
Coming to work as an intern and seeing my supervisor try out condoms by putting them all the way up to his armpit to see if they'd break. You don't really get that experience in very many places, and so it's important to be silly sometimes and and have that camaraderie with your peers and your coworkers.
We're all really interested in one another's lives, and it's been neat to just come alongside people and get to know them, not just in a workplace, but in a personal way. It's been neat to see that vulnerability come out. People are able to share things about their life and that you can encourage them and challenge them. You'll notice that people who come here stay here. They might move to another position, but they stay within the UCP family.
A lot of the staff members and faculty members, we are actually alum of the program, which I think speaks a lot to the value that it's added for us. And when I see the students come into the program and then leave the program through graduation, I'm just so proud of all the service that we give them through the teaching, the staff, and what we do to make their experience the best that it can be.
I think one of the things that makes Growing Gardens a really good place to work is that everyone that works here has a really big passion for the work that we do. And so we're all willing to work really hard to make things happen.
I feel as a staff member, I'm a conduit to help community members help other community members. I think age should not matter in quality of life. And I see people say things like, oh, I did that because my kids needed it. I never hear somebody say, I did that because my grandmother needed it. And I feel like the volunteers here at Elders in Action are those people who care about older adults having a quality of life and having a strong voice.
One of the ladies that works at the mental health is a job coach. She helps people on Social Security find jobs. And they told me about this position that somebody had up and quit if I would fill in until they can find someone to work. I started working, and the boss told me, if you decide that you want to work here, you're going to have to apply just like everybody else. And I knew I wouldn't get it. And about a week later, I began to love it. I found myself helping people and making people laugh and making people have fun. And people came to me and confided in me with situations, and it started making me feel like I was needed.
Here, they care about everybody. Like, it's very hands-on. I thought it was just, schedule some rides, and that's not the case. There's one woman in particular that everyone in the service center knows. She calls in and she has a bad day every day. She just needs someone to talk to, and we can do that. That's amazing that we're not pushed through calls, and we can actually speak with our writers and actually really get to know them. It makes you feel good to be able to help people every single day. Who wouldn't want this job?